Hey guys, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalists, here with Spike, my English Bull Terrier. Kind of thinking that he has a little bit of Staffordshire in him as well. But answering a question that I got here in the YouTube messages. It goes, this is from Adam in Slovakia. My name is Adam and I'm studying the international economy in Slovakia. I watch all of your videos and really like your job. Keep up the great work, man. Thanks, Adam. I know pretty much everything about the financial system and about all the theory, which will lead soon to a global collapse. I'm studying it. I'm trying to prepare me and my family, but there is one big problem with security. Guns are the best way to defend yourself, but here in Slovakia it's hard to get one legally if you don't have connections. The system is pretty corrupt and you won't pass the exam, or better said, you have the right to have a weapon, but they won't give you one if you're an average person. So I'm considering buying a dog Argentino or Belgian Shepherd. A few years ago I had a Rottweiler. Also, my uncle is a police dog trainer, so he could help me with the training. Is it an adequate option? Then Adam asks about gold. Adam, I have done videos about gold in the past. Check some of my older videos. I'm going to be doing more later, but you could have some information there. Then he says, thank you, my friend. Have a nice day. Well, Adam, is the dog Argentino or any other dog a good alternative to a firearm? The answer is no. No, not at all. It's apples and oranges. A firearm is an inanimate object, a weapon. A dog of any kind is a living creature that you cannot control completely 100%, doing exactly what you want. A weapon is anything that improves your potentiality for attack or defense. A weapon may be a firearm, even a big knife, or even a pen or a baseball bat. Anything that you can use to improve the power of your attack and defense. So don't confuse one with the other. Now, when you mentioned about guns being very difficult to have in your country, in Slovakia, very difficult is not impossible, and the difference doesn't seem like much, but it's actually huge. If it's very hard to get something, that means that it still can be done. Many of the firearms that I had in Argentina, lots of people, even shooters, thought you just couldn't have. They just didn't know all the things you had to do to get them. Being a firearms collector, that sort of thing. I did all that. It went through all those loops, all that red tape and such, and got the firearms that I wanted. So keep that in mind. Being very hard is not does not mean impossible, and the difference is pretty big. If I don't know the exact requirements of Slovakia, but if they ask you to join a gun club, spend a year there and such. You mentioned at one point knowing the right people. Joining a firearms club will help you towards that, knowing the right people, the people that can guide you and help you out for getting your own firearm later on. So do that, and anything that you do in terms of participating in the club, getting training and classes and such, it's all going to be helping you anyways, because it's training that you need because of your lack of knowledge in terms of firearms. So that's not going to waste. It's actually a pretty good idea. Participating, getting to know those people, you'll find people that will be capable of helping you out, guiding you, and it's also a great way of knowing like-minded people, and you should be part of a firearms club anyway. So, you know, it's a good idea. In spite of looking so difficult and so complicated at times, if you can do it, you know, just do that. Spend the time to get to know the right people that will help you out. All right. About the dogs, I think that's a great idea. I think that, you know, I did it myself. You just have to have a dog in your house, because criminals just don't like dealing with dogs. They don't even like those little yappy dogs that don't seem like much. Criminals, they will prefer in general to go looking for a house where there is no dog. Of course, if there's a bigger dog or a dog that could put some damage into them, that's even more so the case. The dog Argentino is one of the best options you have. It is not a dog for everyone because it's a very strong animal. You know, it could even be dangerous if you don't have experience with big dogs and you don't have a clear alpha role in your pack. You know, dogs consider the family as a pack, and if they don't have a clear leader, they get they try to occupy that role themselves. That's especially the case of the dog argentino. It needs a person that understands that well and occupies that role well. You know, if you treat a dog argentino like a little toy or a little baby, the consequences could be awful. Here, the Spike here he's an English Bull Terrier. Doggos are not legal here in UK, so this is the closest that I got to doggos. He's still a pretty great dog, showing good character and such. Unfortunately, these dogs are often used even today for dog fighting, which is, you know, which is unfortunate in my opinion. But he still shows many of the traits that I liked so much about the dog argentino. For example, if you see some of the markings he has in his face and such, he has a very high tolerance to pain. He hardly feels any pain at all, even if he gets hurt. For example, he doesn't like people being close to his territory, so he will bark whenever someone gets close to the fence and such. And he runs along that fence, which we noticed had a few screws coming out of it, and he would catch his nose in those screws and cut himself, unfortunately, many times, until we realize and fix that problem. But he does not feel pain. He has a very high tolerance to it. Same as the doggo. The doggo, which is used especially for wild boar hunting, the doggo can be open, you know, all the way across with those tusks these wild boars have, and the dog just keeps going on. It's a very strong, very determined animal, and that's one of the things you want in this kind of for this kind of role. The dog argentino is by far the best dog you want to have in case someone breaks in, especially an armed attacker. There are so many accounts of doggos fighting even after being shot by the attackers, by the home invaders. You know, it's the kind of dog that just does not give up. It keeps fighting. Many dogs seem very scary and are very strong and such, but many of them scare away. When attacked, when hit, when intimidated by a home invader, these kind of dogs, the dog argentino, even the Spiky here, these kind of dogs that were used at one point and even now for fighting, they just don't give up. The American Pit Bull will fall into that same category. Again, unfortunate that so many people still use them for dog fighting and taking advantage of that courage that is natural to them. But when properly trained, when properly brought up, it can be an extraordinary dog. In my case, I'm not doing any sort of training, at least not now with Spiky. I did, because I have small kids, I did downgrade quite a bit his, work pretty much with his character so as to keep him very family friendly, because since I have small children, I didn't want to, incentivize that kind of prey instinct that they have. He's a little bit aggressive towards other dogs, and that's something that you may experience with doggos as well. Even though one of the difference between this English Pit Bull and not English Pit Bull, this English Bull Terrier and the American Pit Bulls would be that these are dogs, again, because they were used so much for dog fighting, they can show some aggressiveness towards other dogs and people. Not so much against people unless there's a problem there, but other dogs, yes, it's highly probable that may be an issue to deal with. The dog argentino, on the other hand, because it was specifically breed so as to hunt in packs, will rarely show aggressiveness towards other dogs. Of course, that if it does, yeah, it's going to be tearing apart most dogs that you put in front of it, because it's very strong, very powerful animal. So again, I wouldn't go for it if you don't have at least some experience working with bigger, stronger dogs with strong characters. But especially if you say, you have your uncle that's willing to help you out, that would be a very good idea, actually a great idea, to have him help you and explain you exactly how you should be going about that. Okay, in the meantime, Big Knife, take the time to get your firearm, join a club, learn what you have to do, and yeah, go for the doggo if you feel comfortable with it, and do get the help from your uncle. Okay, Spiky here has been doing great so far. We're pretty happy with him. See, he's a big goof. He's great with my kids, especially with my younger one. He's 4. He plays with him very, very well. You know, he never gets upset. He's a great dog. I'm very happy with Spiky. So guys, you know, if you're liking these videos, as I always say, consider subscribing. If you have more questions, just throw them my way and I'll do my best to reply. I'm also going to be doing a video because of what Adam here said and a request that I got about knives for defense. I'm going to be doing a video on that soon enough. So take care guys, have a great day and see you in our next video.